Alright guys, I'm back for this week's news. So our first story is Microsoft is culling studios under Bethesda, so we're gonna get into that here. But Xbox is shutting down 4 studios including Arcane Austin and Tango Gameworks, so Microsoft is folding its studios at Bethesda. Arcane Austin will be closing and Redfall's most recent update will be the last one. The recent game, maybe kind of like put them on the radar, but the recent update will be the last one ever for the game as its development comes to a close. Booty said that the servers will remain online and Arcane Austin confirmed that those who purchase the premium editions of the game will be eligible to receive a credit, so they're giving up on Redfall, basically. I mean, Tango Gameworks, this one makes even less sense, because they just had a hit with Hi-Fi Rush, but Tango Gameworks is closing as well, which the studio has confirmed on Twitter. Hi-Fi Rush will still be available for purchase. Presumably, its other titles as The Evil Within and Ghostwire Tokyo will still be available too. So I did some additional digging, and I went into what these studios actually produce. So these are the more less hanging fruit ones. So Alpha Dog Games. So they do seem to do a lot of mobile stuff. So they did Wraithborn, Monster City, Rampage, Ninja Golf, Mighty Doom. So games that most people probably here haven't heard of. Was a mobile video game developer under Bethesda. So Nova Scotia, Canada is where they were based. They did iOS and Android. So Human Head Studios is actually Roundhouse. Human Head Studios is what it used to be called before they shut down and became Roundhouse Games not long after that. November 13, 2019, the studio announced its closure immediately after the release of Rune 2. The whole team subsequently formed a new studio called Roundhouse Studios, and they just got shut down now too because Microsoft. They did Rune, Blair Witch, Volume 2, The Legends of Coffin Rock, Rune Halls of Valhalla, Rune Viking Warlord, Dead Man's Hand, Prey, Brink, Fort Courage, Defiance, Minimum, Lost Within, Dungeon Defenders 2, The Quiet Man, Survived by, Rune 2. So they did all that, and Prey 2 was canceled. And Arcane Studios, I'm sure you guys know this one, they did the failure known as Redfall, Dishonored, Wolfenstein, they did all that, Deathloop, so they're getting shut down. Tango Gameworks, this one is questionable because they just have a recent hit, but Evil Within, Ghostwire Tokyo, played a bit of Ghostwire Tokyo, it wasn't a bad game, it just wasn't my thing. Hi-Fi Rush, so this one actually makes even less sense out of the whole group. Bethesda, getting the axe to a lot of their studios, so Hellblade 2 is getting marketed ahead of launch. Xbox execs insist amid criticism. A global paid media campaign just started on May 8th, Xbox reminds everyone, so Senyu Saga, Hellblade 2, releases on May 21st. Some of the people online have criticized Xbox for not doing enough in their eyes to promote the game ahead of its launch. Aaron Greenberg, a longtime marketing executive for Xbox, has responded to saying a global paid media campaign for the game just began on May 8th. You got some Bizarro World stuff here, because normally they start promoting games weeks before they launch. And just another weird thing that's happening with Xbox. Greenberg said that Microsoft has more promotion activities in the works for Hellblade 2, including ads for the game in movie theaters with particular brands and via Amazon's Fire TV platform, among other places. I haven't really been seeing ads on them though, so they're kind of just like limited to Twitter at this point or something. How many days till the game? A little over a week till the game launches, and I haven't seen a single ad on it, which is bizarre, even for Microsoft. Something's definitely going on over at the Microsoft Game Studios is exhibiting some weird behavior recently. I know I wasn't really over the top with my coverage of the 4 studio closures. That doesn't mean it doesn't hit the same in my mind. I'm just wondering what the is going on, you know what I mean? So the Nintendo Switch successor will be revealed by April 2025. The president of Nintendo has spoken, so this is officially from Nintendo, I guess. So that's the first quarter of 2025, so that's January, February, March, April, so it'll definitely be before April, apparently. We'll probably get it later in 2025 then. Nintendo has announced the successor for the Switch will be revealed within this fiscal year, which ends in April 2025. Nintendo's president Shintaro Furukawa took to the Nintendo's Japanese Twitter account saying, "We will make an announcement about the successor to the Nintendo Switch within this fiscal year. 9 years we announced the existence of Nintendo Switch back in March 2015. Part of the earnings call, so it's an earnings call, so you know it's most likely going to happen." Furukawa was asked about the nature of the system, according to MST. Financial analyst David Gibson he responded, "Switch Next model is the appropriate way to describe it, indicating the new system won't be a massive departure from the original Switch." So they're keeping the original form factor. They got a working product with this one, you know. Had the success of the Wii, they're just reiterating on that for the next gen version of it. They're not changing anything. It's going to be probably continue doing Switches from now into the future, like Xbox has been doing their Xbox consoles and PlayStation has been doing PlayStation. Kurokawa also said that there will be a Nintendo Direct presentation this June, content for the latter half of 2024. It won't contain any information on Nintendo Switch successor, so I guess they may have some games coming this year. I actually didn't think they were probably going to have any first-party titles. The device will reportedly have magnetic Joy-Con controllers. I talked about that the other day. It won't be cross-compatible because it's a different system from the current Switch, but the Pro controllers will be, supposedly, based on leaks and rumors. But the Nintendo Switch is shutting down Twitter integration next month. You'll no longer be able to post screenshots on Twitter via your Switch, so a lot of this has to do with the Twitter situation where data scraping and stuff like that, so companies don't really want to pay the, specifically Xbox and PlayStation as well, they didn't want to pay the fees involved with it, but I guess Nintendo's just deciding to drop the support compatibility on Switch. EA considering in-game advertising, but will take a thoughtful approach. EA previously sold in-game ads for its sports games in Battlefield 2142. EA CEO Andrew Wilson has said that in-game advertising could become a meaningful driver of growth for the company. Bottom line, just speaking during the company's latest earnings briefing, Wilson said that it's still early on that front, and if this is something EA does decide to push further into the company, we'll be thoughtful about it. Yeah, I don't trust them. If you give them an inch, they'll take a mile. Normally, that's how that stuff goes. Wilson said during the earnings call that for any future in-game ad campaigns, EA would try to be very thoughtful about how they might be implemented. Not on every single loading screen, so, you want to... But, not being serious, guys. Don't take my words there serious. Just saying. But as we think about the many, many billions of hours spent both playing, creating, watching, and connecting, much of the engagement happens to be on the bounds of traditional game experience or expectations. Is that advertising has an opportunity to be a meaningful driver of growth for us. He said we'll be very thoughtful into that, but we have teams internally in the company right now looking at how do we do very thoughtful implementations inside our game experience. Yeah, they already have them in sports games. I don't really play sports games, guys. I think they're a mess of advertising, slot machines, and they just want to take your money at that point. I'm not really much of a sports guy. The main drivers keep me from playing any sport titles like, Madden and NBA 2K. I think I have an old NBA 2K 2016 game, but that's before they started adding ads and card packs and stuff in it. Starting to add ads into video games. Let's see how that goes. Probably terrible. They're probably going to ruin the industry doing it.